Good morning. I am coming to you from Colorado. Maybe the mountains give that away. They didn't to me last night because I came in the dark, so I had no idea what any of this looked like. I am in Colorado because I am here for a search dogs clinic. It's a clinic that specializes and focuses on search and rescue dogs. And so I'm attending the trailing portion of that clinic for the next 3 days, and to save a little bit of cost, and because I'm in beautiful Colorado, I figured why not just camp instead of getting a hotel room and going through that whole process. So like I said, I got here pretty late last night, but I got on my maps and found a spot of BLM land and pulled in, and this is where I ended up landing. I set up the tent last night in the dark, and I didn't eat any dinner because I just got in late enough that I was just ready to hit the bed and go to sleep. So that's where we're at. I don't know how much of this I'm going to be able to record because most of the days I'm going to be in the clinic and involved in that. But I'll try and keep you up to date, give you an update each night of kind of what I did that day and how things went and where I landed. I don't know if I'm going to come back here again tonight or not. The road in here is rough. It is rough and a little scary, mainly because I've seen that if it gets wet, the ruts are huge. It looks like it's just clay, and I don't know that I'd be able to get out if I got stuck in here in the rain. So I might pick a different road for tonight to come up into, and just a different spot, just for the heck of it. We'll see, but right now, this morning's paying off. That sun is coming up, and it is spectacular. And I'm going to let you watch that while I get some breakfast, get my contacts in, and get ready to go for the day. All right, I'm all packed up, cleaned up, had breakfast, enjoyed the sunrise. Now I'm headed into town. I did, however, break the ladder on the rooftop tent when I was putting it away. I really hope that's not going to be a problem. What I'm worried about is that you unlatch one rung at a time, but from the bottom you can unlatch them all, and I'm a little worried that by it being this one rung being broken out, that the ladder won't support any weight at all. This has been an issue I've had with this ladder for a while, and I've been trying to get a hold of Rome to get another one, but they've been out of stock, and I haven't been able to find a good replacement. So we'll see if that's an issue, because if that ladder won't latch and it won't support weight, then it won't support the weight of the tent, and I'm not sure how I'm going to use the tent if that's the case. Anyways, I'm gonna head into town and get on with the day, and then I guess later on tonight, or maybe if I have a break during the day or something, I'll look at it a little bit harder and see what I can figure out. But for now, that's a problem. So I'm sitting at the end of a dead-end road, and the reason why I'm sitting here is because a trail was set up on the end of this dead-end road, but it appears that the road that the trail was set up on does not exist at the end of this dead-end road. There should be one more road in this little community here, and there's not. So right now they're trying to figure that out, trying to figure out what the subject did so that we know where the trail is.
so that we can do our run. Anyways, meanwhile, I'm trying to make good use of the time. On the last trail, Toner broke her toy. I'm in town, which I haven't trained much with, which is my bad. I should have done more. But because we're in town, I'm not throwing the ball like I normally do as her reward. I'm using it as a tug toy, and on the last one she broke it off. So the hole is really, really small, so I'm trying to figure out how to make this paracord work, to where she can still use it as a tug toy and hopefully still function the way that we need it to. So anyways, that's all I know so far. It's been a good day so far, lots of knowledge. I've taken lots of notes, and we've already done a few different exercises that I think are really worthwhile to add to our rotation of trails that we do, because I think they're going to help a lot with some of the issues that we've had, some of the concerns that I've had and questions that I've had on different types of trails that we do and stuff like that. So I'm really excited for the knowledge that I'm getting here, and I think I'm making some good contacts too on people that, as stuff comes up in the future, that I can ask and say, hey, have you ever run into this issue, and what would be a good way to kind of handle that kind of a deal. So far so good. It's been really great, and we're coming up on dinner time. Probably it's 4 in the afternoon. I think this trail is kind of the last trail that we're running. We'll probably come back together and kind of have a debrief, and then I think we've got dinner after that, and then after the dinner break we've got a canine first aid course that we're going to go to, which will be good too, because I don't know a whole lot about that. So far it's been a very successful trip, and Toner's excited. What do you think, pup? She doesn't have much to say. Yesterday, I think yesterday just hammered her, because she was at work and kind of laying around at work the whole time, and then we jumped right in the truck and had to drive for six and a half hours, and then I got to camp, set up camp real quick, and then I was hammered, so I went to bed, and she had to sit in the truck again, and she had to sit in the truck all morning, and so I think she's excited to finally be getting out and doing stuff. And the last trail we just ran was a pretty long trail and a hard working trail, so I think it kind of wore her down a little bit. So anyways, I'm going to keep working on this and wait to hear back from the instructors on what we're going to do on this trail, and then we will carry on. Good as new? I think it ought to work. Well, unfortunately, I lost audio again, and this is like the 20th voiceover I've done for this section. Anyways, this is the next morning, beautiful campsite. I picked a new spot, and I've got some really epic views. Those Colorado mountains are just breathtaking. You just watched a time lapse of a storm that was brewing last night. It was beautiful, but it brought some gusts that were terrible. That awning would catch the wind in that pocket, and it'd act like a parachute, and it would just flap the tent. I did not get much sleep that night. My project this morning is to clean out the back seat. It's an absolute mess, and probably the reason why I lost audio. I'd toss the GoPro in the back seat, it'd get jumbled with everything else, and I'm assuming the cable came unplugged just enough to make me lose audio. Hopefully this will solve that. Luckily, that rung missing didn't mess up the setup of the tent. It still supported it. I just had to watch my step as I went up and down because of that larger gap there. I'm hoping it's going to hold out for the rest of the trip. With that all done, it's time to pack up and head out. The road up to this spot was terrible again. I came in the dark, and about halfway up the hill, I thought, man, I should not be coming up here with my truck. But I made it, no harm done, until I was leaving. There was a spot in the road where there was kind of a washout, and I ended up tearing up the running board on the driver's side of my truck. What can you do?
Well, good morning. It is a beautiful Friday morning up here, over here, down here, aside from here, wherever you're located in Colorado. And I think I've got the best campsite so far right now. I actually found this campsite on my way home. Let me fix all that. I actually found this website. I actually found this campsite on my way into town yesterday morning, and I couldn't see it in the dark. I could see the turn. I remember seeing the turn up into here, and I decided that this was kind of an offshoot, and so I was going to stick with the main road. But in the daylight, I could see that there's this nice level spot. Well, here, let me show you. There's this nice level spot here that you get. See that? Isn't that just perfect? So that's the road in, and then you have to kind of take this sharp, pretty steep turn. I had to put it in four-wheel drive because I just started. If I would have come out here, I probably would have been okay, but over there I hit a rut and came up into this. But clearly this was the main road on up through. But I mean, isn't this great? And then you get over here and see this view. Man, oh man, you just can't beat it, can you? That's some good Colorado views, if you ask me. Really good. And I slept better last night too. It wasn't nearly as windy, and it rained a couple of times, and it was just kind of a more peaceful experience. The wind picked up a couple of times, but not bad. So pretty good. Pretty good. I don't know if I'm gonna stay here one more night in the rifle area, or if I'm going to like go halfway home or what. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do on that. I think a lot of it will just kind of depend on how the day goes today. So we'll see what happens. I do have a couple of updates for you. Let me pick you up again. First update, the ladder's been working okay. I was going to explain this yesterday morning, but I had it in time-lapse mode. You can see the whole rung is gone. And this one, this one doesn't seem to be locking really good. That tab's down, but you can see that one is supposed to be down, and that's kind of causing it to do some weird things. But it is locking after a few tries, and I kind of very carefully and gingerly climb up and make sure everything's holding before I put all my weight on here. So I've just got an extra big gap there. Last night this one was up, and so I had a really big gap and really had to watch my step coming down. So that's working so far. The other thing is I've got my spare tire on. I picked up a screw yesterday morning coming into town and had to change my tires in the parking lot of the Garfield County Sheriff's Building. And so there's the tire that's going flat. It's got a screw in it, and I pulled my spare down. My spare was completely empty, and I thought, well, here's a what's the word, gamble. Here's a gamble. I'm going to go ahead and try and put it on and air it up, and luckily my truck has a compressor for the exhaust brake, and it looks like it's holding air. But I also found out that my jack, well, I don't know if I found out or if I broke it, but my jack is broken that came with the truck. So I had to scrap all that and use my high lift, which luckily I had my high lift jack. That did the job perfectly. I should have just done that to start with. But anyways, I look kind of a fool out there in the parking lot with everything scattered out and doing that. So I think I'm just going to leave my spare on. It looks like it's holding air good. It's a full-size spare. It's roadworthy. There's no, I mean, it's the same thing as the tire I took off basically. I did get a tire patch kit, or not a plug, I guess, a tire plug. And I'm just going to leave that in the back of the truck. And if on the way home I have issues, which I hope I don't, then I'll plug that tire and swap them off again and something like that. So anyways, I'm going to get rolling here. I've just kind of been enjoying the morning slowly. I washed my hair because that's the thing that was feeling the most dirty at the moment. I've been doing I've been doing baby wipe baths is what I call it. If anybody's done that, they know what it is. And so I feel fairly clean for the most part, and I've got deodorant, and I've been using all that, which I normally don't when I'm out camping, if I'm honest. I just kind of let the stink roll, and that's part of camping. But here I'm around a bunch of people, so I've been trying to stay somewhat clean and tidy and smelling fresh. And so far I haven't like seen anybody out of the corner of my eye go, oh, when they got near me. So I think I'm okay, but we'll see. Maybe some of my colleagues will comment and say, nope, you were smelling right. But my hair, it was getting itchy. I was telling my wife after one of those other longer camp trips that that's kind of what bugs me the most, is my scalp gets itchy, my hair feels kind of crusty and dry. I don't know what it is. And so I washed my hair, which was really cold in this water, and but I think it was totally worth it. And yes, that's one of the shirts that I wore earlier on that I dried my head with because I did not bring a towel. It worked just fine. I figured it was the cleanest one. It's the one that I traveled in, so it should have been the cleanest one. Worked just fine. So I'm gonna have me some breakfast, some pink salmon and wheat thins is what I'm going with. Of course, having a Dr. Pepper this morning because I just feel like one. I'm gonna start breaking down camp, and I've got about 20 minutes. I need to break down camp and be on the road, and in order to meet my first appointment for the day. Well, I'm currently on my way home. I'm hoping that the freeway noise isn't too loud, but I just stopped at a quick rest stop here, and just wanted to show you this beautiful, beautiful scenery I've got. Apparently this is called Ghost Rock, I think is what it said. Anyways, just beautiful. I just needed a quick break from driving, and Toner needed a chance to stretch her legs too. But I'm going to go ahead and head home. The casualty report is the ladder for my tent is pretty well destroyed. The running board on my truck has fallen off after going over a rise that was too steep on one of those Jeep trails that they call dirt roads over there. And I've still got that spare tire on because of the tire with the screw in it. So kind of a rough trip on the truck and camping setup, but a fantastic experience and learning opportunity for Toner and I. The last trail that we did was really quite amazing. We had some interruptions and a few things that happened, and I thought for sure Toner was going to end up following the wrong person that was a fresher scent that she had watched walk off and head out there. And the coolest thing was that Toner stuck to the track of the subject and nailed that trail all the way out. It was just a great finale for the trip. So really cool. But I'm going to go ahead and leave you with a chance to look at this scenery and sign out and say until next time, lock 'em in, grab a gear. I'll see you in the hills.